going on in Africa Town. If y'all know what Africa Town is down there in LA, Leimert Park in LA. They have been dealing with this for a while. If you look at all the other lives I've been going on with Break the Bank, they have been basically protesting against all the big banks, especially Wells Fargo and Bank of America, because when we look back at the situation we are in as melanated people, our source of the problem comes from the banks funding. Here at Degnan Boulevard, Lamar Park, and we see a trash can on fire. And guess what? Guess who did it? LAPD. Look at this shit. Started one fucking trash can on fire and then dumped the fiery trash can in another trash can talking about, I'm sorry I started this fire. And there are witnesses. There are witnesses, y'all. Look at this trash. And guess what? The whole fire department and police came out here and they left it in the streets.
So out here in LA, we have an area originally built known as Leimert Park, but for some years now, we've been advocating it to claim it and rename it as our Africa Town. But it's right next to one of our main corridors known as Crenshaw Boulevard. And pretty much over the last decade, they built a train running down Crenshaw. But with this train, they've also built a lot of housing. So in the main part of this corridor in the black areas, they've been building housing that we can't afford. So we know that is to bring in a whole different group of people. As they were building the train, traffic became so hectic itself. It's believed we lost over 100 businesses along the Crenshaw corridor. So where we are in Africa Town is one of the last main black strongholds. And for at least the last 5 years or so, we've been getting a number of efforts from both the city and others in the community who collaborate with the city to basically dispose of those of us who come and share our culture. On the weekends, we have two outdoor markets. Throughout the week, we have space where a number of micro entrepreneurs, street merchants set up and handle their business. But it's been a number of different efforts, both from using city enforcements, everything from police to traffic enforcement to the health code enforcement for food vendors and different types of enforcement. The past couple of years, we kind of tightened down on that. At one point, we were even operating under certain permits, but more so, we just got people organized and structured. So now, a couple days ago, they've come with their newest effort to attack us, and it's using a ordinance that was just passed by the city council called 41.18, basically targeting homeless people, but it's giving them a new claim to take over the streets and not allow certain things to happen in certain areas where legally it can't happen in other areas. So by them now declaring our area a special enforcement zone, they can now come and target brothers and sisters who are unhoused, brothers and sisters who are street merchants, and pretty much anybody and everybody from gathering, congregating, and as they would say, loitering in this area now. So that's one of the newest assaults we've come under. But the thing with this community, while we have withheld so long outside of a number of other communities throughout LA, at one point it was believed we had about 25, 26 different black communities throughout the city. Now we're down to only about six. And one of the reasons our community is maintained is because people live and step outside of the dictates of the normal so-called American life. You know, everybody within Africa Town, whether they say they're Moorish, whether they say they Muslim, whether they say they Hebrew Israelite, or just a lot of different collectives and ideologies that come here. The bottom line, these are people that's down to go the full length for what we believe in. So we have had a number of run-ins with the law over the years where several times we managed to pull together and run them out. For the past few years, they have, for the most part, respected us to resolve our issues internally. But now again with this special enforcement declaration, and for about a couple months now, we've been hearing rumors about a task force being put together to target us. We are expecting activities to escalate, but we remain solid and hopeful, and knowing again the people we have standing with us. We look at how we can get more people to start stepping up. That's another thing. We as the African Town Coalition have been the main brothers on the front line. But
Yes.
now we're just letting community know we need more people to actually come up. All the things people say need to happen, instead of sitting on the sidelines expecting us to execute. We need more people to get to put their boots on and come execute with us.
Hey, can I ask
A target from that area, but we also know the banks. I think as some of we've been fighting the banks for the past several months, and that really started once Wells Fargo made an investment in this area, because we knew once that investment was made, anything they invest in wasn't going to be for us. One of the primary things they invested in is a one-story property right now, but they're about to turn into a 5-story property where you have stores on the bottom and housing on top, and we know that housing won't be for us. So
so
we're fighting the banks with this. We're fighting the politicians, and we got boots on the ground to confront whatever they throw at us.
that,
So to
yeah.
answer the question that one of you all asked, like, Queen, how do you change that? I think that's the part of the way that we can change it, is having that conversation where that, yes, we are, there's nothing wrong with making money and being wealthy and, getting up. But, is it beneficial if you're just taking away what you earn versus giving back to the community? Do you understand how important it is to invest in Black business? Do you understand how important it is to re-educate other Black people as far as our finances? I think that's where it's going to come into play.
See how, because too often I hear a lot of folks say, I'm not with the politics, I'm not political, but everything in your life is political. And it's
Right.
getting them to really look at that, and not
Exactly.
just wait to go vote for somebody you don't know, but day to day is where the real political game transpires.
Right.
Have any petitions going on? Because I'm thinking that this is something that needs to get out, because it happens all over. When I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, I noticed when I went back, it had the small condos with the stores at the bottom, and the whole downtown I didn't even recognize. And before we know it, we don't think it's affecting us. We're just living and working. So, do we have any petitions going? I think we need to get some letters going, writing the radios. I mean, writing news stations, and you know, everybody that's out there that will listen to this, even at the replay. If you go to the United Empires of Akibalon and you subscribe, if you email us in the subject line, put gentrification is a problem, break the bank, so that we can start putting these stories together. Because how many of these stories is going on? Because Africa Town is a small melanated community that is bouncing their dollars off of each other, and nobody knows that. And then they tell us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. They want to highlight shooting and killing, but they don't highlight there's many and many Africa towns out here. Not saying that they call Africa Town, but there's many of us out here doing this, and you can be next. You just think you won't, but you can be. You're next.
What this is. So last night, some of our people out here put up a video explaining how this one officer set a trash can on fire. So right now, while I'm sitting here talking to y'all, I'm sitting in my car, and I am in a red zone. Normally they'll come say you need to move it, but as I'm sitting here talking to y'all, this same exact clown just came and wrote me this ticket. Like
Are you serious?
just now as Tina was speaking. So that's how funky is getting around here. But again, because we have people like right now, some folks just was about to step to them, but
Separated over here in Alabama or over there in Louisiana, they make you think that this is not your fight. This is your fight. These are your people. They keep playing this game with us to not connect with each other, to think it's not going to affect us, because it affects us. But just like he said, we don't know about politics. We just go out voting. We just go out doing stuff, and we don't know that. It does.
That's what it is.
We need a national letter. We need a empire letter. This is what the empire is for, because every one of us is a small business, or we might have a big business, but we need a letter together to start writing to every news station, every politician, because every government, we need to be posting it. We need to be flooding Facebook and different social media accounts with our demands. The problem